I guess we need an intro. Let's go.
Brew. Fuck, we
Finally, yeah. Half an hour later. Yeah, 30 minutes.
So welcome back to the Entrepreneur 360 podcast, guys. Here with an old brew. There's no better word for it. Old. Not old. He's not old. He's young.
Long-standing.
Long-standing brew.
Yeah.
Before we start, actually, sorry, I forgot. This is another. This is coming, guys, in the future, very soon.
What's that?
Charity in the tin. It's a long story, and it'll make sense in the future episodes. I just launched a very big charity project in schools. It's my new purpose, It's going to be the...
Nice.
Yeah. Are you feeling energy?
No, putting it in.
Oh, okay, nice. I like that. Mark, bro, Piranha, as I've known you for many years. I don't know if you go by that these days.
20 years, yeah.
Is it 20 years? Bro?
Yeah, it's my 20th now this year.
Oh, so you started... No, it can't be... Is it your 20th year?
2000. No, it's my 19th. So 19 now, end of the year will be...
That I started a couple... I must have started a few years before. Not that many, though.
I think 4 or 5, yeah.
As many as that?
I think so. I'm not sure. I mean, you were up there when...
Yeah, I was a Bali already.
Yeah.
So we're discussing capoeira. Mark and I met many years ago in capoeira space. Piranha you still training.
Yeah.
I fell off when I went to LA a little bit, COVID, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Getting back into it now, loving it.
Is it?
Yeah, I've actually had a couple of interesting chats over December with, you remember Matt Concha?
Yeah, of course.
From
in Sweden, yeah. Sweden?
He's in
not
Brussels.
Belgium.
And but yeah, Mark and I are a little bit exhausted actually because we just spent the last 45 minutes getting
setting up both of our cameras, leaving things in the car, hitting our heads on the way out,
getting everything ready. Yeah, bro. You were asking. So I said as he walked in, he's like, "Bro, you got a fireplace?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then I was like, "Let's talk about it on the podcast," because that's what I'm loving about the podcast is before we even get to talk about anything, is it allows me to share like little fucking moments in my life that make me so happy. And the fireplace, I love to give homework on the podcast. Generally, in the podcast with a bit of homework. Here's your homework: go build a fireplace in your home, whatever your home is, or don't get a Morso. So this is what we were discussing.
That's quite a.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah.
And you were saying like we kind of left it off, and I said, it's become a huge part of my existence. I was saying to Mark, like when I had in my previous business, when I was working with a team in Pakistan and guys in Australia, I'd wake up at 5 a.m., start a fire, and then just sit in front of the fire for like the next 4 hours working. And you're saying like open, not a Morso. Are you why are you into the Morso?
No, I don't mind, to be honest.
Yeah.
It just depends on like your setup. So if you've got a chimney, then go for it. Open's great, but more so like if you don't, it's
if you're installing a Morso, they basically cut a chimney in. Well, they don't build.
Well, it's got their pipe that kind of goes out. Yeah. So they don't build like a proper chimney like you've got here.
Yeah, but I would say invest in it. I don't even know if it's that much more expensive than a Morso.
Yeah, I mean, like even just thinking about now, just in winter last year, I was taking a girl on a date, and like that was what I was looking for. It's like which restaurants have got fireplaces, because it's such a nice frequency energy for people to.
Well, it's that. So Mark and I we love the festivals. We go to them, and fireplaces at the festivals are make it for me, bro. If there's no fireplaces, it's a big missing part for me.
Really?
Yeah, huge.
Interesting.
Huge. It's like
so nice. Like especially now in Bloom. Jeez, like it was cold, bro. That fireplace was a Bloom Fest.
Oh, did you find it Bloom? Sorry, I just needed to do something quickly. Carry on. Did you find Bloom freezing?
Yes, dude. The Saturday night. Oh my god. It was beyond cold, bro. Beyond cold. And then my missus didn't bring...
wait a minute. I do remember that now.
She didn't bring a jersey. And so Kippy gives her his jacket, and she's lekker. I'm sitting there, cold on the dance floor. Yeah, nothing's kicking in. Everything.
But that he means the liquor. I do remember that night. Actually, you're right. It was a cold one.
That fireplace was a... golden,
got you. No, it's a big part. So as I said, like I love to share that kind of stuff like that. I find joy in. but yeah, it's been I'm super stoked to have you here, bro, because so let me give some context. Obviously, Mark, well, you give some context. Who the fuck are you, bro?
So obviously capoeira instructor, professor now after I think I got it 2 years ago, 2020. So it's like quite a high belt. And love capoeira. Been teaching for 15 years. I love the movement. I love like the never-ending progress and process of it. The process of progress, which is so cool because it's always exciting to learn something new and like tackle a certain new challenge, new movement, new sequence. And then even like the idea of students, like getting them to do the same thing, being able to describe and like unravel and unpack and like de-knot it for the students so that they can understand it, because everyone understands things in their own way from different perspectives, so you get to kind of try find their perspective and explain it to them in the best way, which I love as well. It's like a puzzle. That's like dope. Finding little patterns within movements and music and all those sorts of things. And
so that's interesting to me, because what you just said, because I've always wondered, like I used to instruct for years. We had a great class and I loved it for a few years, and then I started to hate it. Well, I think there was a lot of stuff going on in the community and the politics and all the Brazilian pressure and the belts. We had Mark and I come from different belt systems and different federations, whatever you want to call it. I grew very tired of it very quickly, and I pulled myself out. I was like, guys, enjoy yourselves.
I remember you.
I'm here for
politics,
the capoeira. I'm here to just play.
Well, that's why I left Terranossa, because there was so
is that a factor?
Yeah, just politics, and me and Emilka just like headbutt.
Is it?
Yeah, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to be a part of it.
I didn't know that. I mean,
it was just like, I mean, even one of the parents came to me and says, you know, like, I've been watching you guys for the past few years, and all I could see was his foot on your head.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, thinking back, I suppose you were still young in it, so it was you needed to pay your dues in a way. But sure. I agree with.
But I idolized him for so many years. Yeah. You know, he was like my brother.
Yeah, you guys were pretty close.
We lived together.
Yeah. But I think like what you said about being a teacher is so interesting, because it's something that I couldn't relate to in the capoeira teaching space, or I lost interest in. Maybe because it was so formalized, and I was just like, I couldn't be bothered. So I kind of got into that space of I just want to play. That's when I started with Tribu, the classroom. Yeah. We had this little room.
Outhouse, yeah.
And like the rules were that there are no flags on the door. Like pull in, everybody's welcome, and we play. We don't teach. We teach, but we don't formally hold
classes. Is always that's a lesson in every game.
And I just love the game, the job of the game, and that's what I struggled with when I was in LA as well. Like when I did connect with, I went to a men's class and like another guy's class. I think it was Muzenza. I think
intense,
I managed a month or two before I could see he was starting to get very irritable with me, and I could understand why. Like I just was doing my own thing, and I was like, you can take the animal out of the jungle, but you can't take the jungle out of the animal.
Sure.
Sorry. Carry on. So.
And then like always been into health and that sort of thing, and then 2020 came. Started to read more and more, because obviously we're in isolation, so didn't have much else to do. So it's like, if you can't go outside, go inside. So I did that. And got into biohacking and started kind of leaning into it. And the more I got into it, ice baths and breath work and did it like a whole bunch of Wim Hof, keto, fasting, like the basics. And my body just started to change, bro. Like inflammation, pain, all the rest of it just started to duck, and my capoeira just started to fly.
Oh, is it?
Just one level to the next. I was like just able to do way more than I've been able to do, and that's like at the age of 35, 36, right?
Yeah.
And even now, I just keep on going and going and going. And then I sold I got rid of an investment of mine, and took that money and invested it into a little bit into crypto, like we spoke about, which made a bit of bucks as well. And then the rest I poured into the business, and created Thrive Labs, with saunas and ice bars and red light therapy. We did IV drips. We did hyperbaric oxygen chamber. We helped people with nutrition. Did breath work sessions, like mindset training through meditation and understanding the mind, the ego, those sorts of things. Like really holistic, like mind, body, spirit sort of idea, understanding that the body's going to affect the mind, and the combination of those two being in alignment is going to help you kind of connect to sources of intuition, things that we don't get to kind of perceive with our five senses. But we have to get like this stuff down first: emotional health, mental health, and physical health. And it's kind of baseline is physical. So like this completely took me. And I think also I was dating a girl at the time, and we broke up in 2020. Actually, I had a hero dose of mushrooms on my ace, just smashed it in the beginning of 2022. And that was interesting because it was the first time I've ever done a hero dose. I always did it for the fun. Yeah. Just... And
for the entertainment
element, social,
having a giggle, seeing magic
colors. I mean, it was beautiful, but this time I wanted to see what it was all about. So I just read the book, How to Change Your Mind by Michael Pollan, and it went on about that stuff. So I was like, okay, well, let me try this. So eye mask on in the middle of the Mkhalis in a spot there, eye mask on, headphones in, played music, and just let it take me. And I remember at the end of it, I was I was just kind of like, I'd gone through a whole bunch. Like, I don't know what was happening, but it almost felt like I was sitting in a room and my parents were having a fight sort of idea, where it's just like you're allowing kind of the ego and your higher self, like having a go at each other. And I remember after that's kind of all settled and all the rest of it, I was just visiting, just like thinking of people, feeling how it felt, good people, whatever. And I remember going and visiting my ex. She wasn't my ex at the time, I was dating her, and I got this like insane like frightful feeling, like when you wake up in the morning and you haven't studied for a test, you completely forgot about it, that I and I got that, and I was like, okay, this is the first time I'm doing this, I'm not looking into this.
Was this at the end of the trip?
Right at the end, yeah. And I was like, cool, I'm done, bro. Like, I don't want to fuck out right here. Like, I'm good, I'll sort that out another time, but I kind of got what I came for. And since that happened, it's like the mushrooms give you glasses that you can put on, but you can't take off. Once you've kind of had an experience like that, you're on, and you start to see
you can't unring the bell, bro.
Yeah. And I feel like it's the same with health. Yeah. When you get your health to a certain point, it also starts to push you into a space where you now have to focus on the mental and the emotional. It's like you open up your frequency to something like deeper. Yeah. And that's, so I mean... And then I started to notice things like in our relationship. I was like, no, bro, this chick's not happy, eh? And I didn't know what was going on. I was quite unsettled. And then again, about 6 months later, I did another dose, about 6.7 grams. And while I was in there, I remember like a week before, there was something just saying to me, let go, let go, let go. I don't know what it was. I even spoke to a friend. I was like, I don't know what it is. Anyway, so I go into this, and as I'm going in, I'm trying to, like the ego wants to hold on. And I'm just, okay, let go, let go. And I finally just like relax, and I kind of fall asleep, and the next thing I wake up and this voice says to me, you have to let her go, she's no longer yours.
Oh, shit, eh?
Yeah. Everything you desire is on the other side of this decision. And I just burst into tears, bro, and I just cried for like 3 hours. And eventually broke up with her, but like that process of breakup to now has been the most insane experience of my entire life. Like understanding that, like I was blaming her for a lot of things. And then you start to realize that everything outside of you is actually you, and everything that you didn't trust in her is stuff you don't trust in yourself because of the messed up things you did. So I had to go through this whole process of forgiveness and like seeing all my kind of flaws and the things that I did that were messed up in my life that I'm not proud of, like, and just love myself anyway. So that was a massive process, and it's really thrown me into a place now where there's so many people that are sitting in the same situation, not understanding how to like control this ego and mind that just talks and talks and talks. And the emotions, and how the emotional body connects to the mental body, how that an ego controls you through that, and then how to kind of navigate away from that and start to really feel into your authentic self. And I think breath work has been also a massive part of that. understanding breath, connecting to the breath, because that kind of roots you in presence where the ego doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Ego can't operate from the present moment, and I feel like you can enter altered states also through breath work. I mean, even altered states from, if you're in a state of anxiety, you can alter your state back to calm and peace. And even from peace, if you need to kind of up it into something a little more fire, if you're going to train or get excited about something, use it for manifestation, because that whole manifestation concepts, thoughts and emotions. So sometimes it's hard to feel that excitement that you need in order to hold that frequency. And I feel like breathwork helps you do that a lot, right? So I'm kind of in a position where just so fascinated by the mind, the connection to the emotional body, and then how breathwork works within that, and then how health, working your microbiome, how training helps. Sleep, man, like for me, sleep is like foundation. That's like center. If you can get that right, everything else, hormones, microbiome, cognitive function, anti-aging, it's everything you need. If you just get that right, because you have to plug in so many things into that to make sure your sleep is amazing.
Yeah, I'm loving it. So I was watching some of the stuff that you were sharing on Insta, and then I was like, obviously that's what sparked the conversation. I mean, we've known each other a long time, and we've hung around in the last couple of years on dance floors together. We've had some good chats.
Yeah.
Which has been pretty dope. But it was interesting to see, because I think what I've started to discover in the journey that I've been on with this podcast and over the last year has been discovering all of these. The joke I always make is like, how do you know if somebody does CrossFit? How do you know if they are vegan? How do you know if they cold plunge? How do you know if they do breath work? They'll fucking tell you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and it's so true, but there's a whole long list. But there's a reason though.
Because they're passionate about it.
But also because it's fucking good for you.
Yeah.
Like all of these things, these guys, they're not just passionate about the passion. There's something behind that passion. It's benefits and value.
And that's why they're passionate, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
So it's quite funny, and that's why it came along at the right time when I saw your stuff. I was like, because I've just started not just started, but I've been into the breathwork for a while. I got it through meditation. Like the meditation kind of forces you into breathing much better.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I started doing some Wim Hof stuff, and my I had a partner in another business who was also very into the breathwork stuff. So I started exploring it. I'll be honest with you, I find Wim Hof super difficult to listen to. I don't connect with him as a human. I just don't. I don't know about his sense of humor. Something rubs me the wrong way about him. I don't know what it is. But that being said, I appreciate what he's saying and what he's doing, and I think it's really super helpful. But what I realized as well was that breathwork stuff. What it started to come down into me and make me realize was breathing is one of the only things we do that we have no choice in.
But we do as well.
We have that choice, but we also don't have a choice. You can't not breathe.
Yeah, so that's what I also, when I do my courses or when I do my sessions, I speak to people and I remind them of two aspects of this. And the one is that it's connected to the autonomic nervous system. So it's happening like you say, whether you want it to or not, and then it's also connected to your somatic. So you get to also control it. Yeah. So now the autonomic nervous system, you can't go to your liver and be like, okay, you need to function a little bit better. You're in a bit of stress, your kidneys aren't whatever. So it's like when you're in that state of stress, you need your organs to function properly, your digestion to function properly. But if you're in fight or flight, which a lot of us are, and we don't even realize it, it's like frog in the boiling water. Yeah. It's the breath that helps us, because we can now take the somatic, which is like lifting your arms and the more deliberate choices of movement through the nervous system, and we use the somatic side of our breath to then connect to the autonomic. Yeah. So you can now take yourself from that stressful state, like I was saying, and then use the somatic and connect with the autonomic and get yourself back into a place of balance, which is amazing.
Yeah, exactly. And it's that, but that's what I loved about it. Like, as I said, is as I realized that we have to eat, we have to drink, we have to do certain things. Okay, you eventually, your body will say, "Not, you need to do this," but you still have a choice in that. Yeah. Breathing, there is no choice, and the minute you realize that, and then as you say, you switch over to go, hey, actually I can control this though. I might not have a choice in it, but I have a choice
on the quality,
how I do it, and how good or bad I do it.
And a lot of people breathe bad because it's true.
Exactly. And I realized, like, when I started doing the Wim Hof stuff, and that's why I kind of like Wim Hof actually. Like I said, like I just don't connect with him as a person. I don't know why. There's something about him. But his technique and what he shows, and it's so simple.
Yeah.
It's so basic. So once I learned it, I was like, all right, cool. It's up to me to kind of do it.
Do you know that it's from Himalayas, hey? So there's a tribe in the Himalayas that use it when they go up and down high altitudes. It's called Tumo.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he talks, I was listening to his CEO of Diary of a CEO with old Stephen Bartlett, and he was talking about the O climbed Everest and all that stuff, and he did Everest and all that, like that ascension stuff. And it was mind blowing. Like I did Kilimanjaro when I was a lighter, like when I was 20, and I really appreciate like how difficult those climbs are. So when you hear these stories, you're like, whoa, bro! The fact that you're able to, as you say, like the quality of your breath. And what I thought was also super interesting, what I've started to notice, I think we've all started to notice, is the youngsters of today. Listen to us buddies here talking. The youngsters of today.
I'm not a buddy. Speak for yourself. I'm wise.
I'm wise. This isn't great, bro.
Yeah, no, that's the knowledge. But the wrinkles, if I don't smile, they're not.
I don't just to stay straight face. But the lighties of today and the vaping, bro. So I've spent some time around some of the lighties, just at the festivals or at the parties. You go out to a draw, whatever it is. Even like sometimes in meetings, man, if you're sitting with a 29-year-old and they're sucking on that thing, bro, but like it's life support.
Yeah.
And
like, because it's so habitual, bro.
Exactly.
Like it goes right into that.
And it tastes lacquer, and it makes you feel good. It's got the nicotine in, it's got the dopamine vibes in. And if you think about the percentage of breaths that they take in a day, if they're taking 10,000 breaths in a day, what percentage of that has got stuff in it?
Yeah. And disclaimer here, like I enjoy a cigarette from time to time. I haven't for like I've kind of put that behind me, but at the festivals and stuff, it's like but I tell you, like trying to go like, okay, I don't want to have cigarettes, they're really bad for you, let me go to vape. I felt so much worse on vape.
Oh, did you, eh?
Yeah, you can feel it, like the brain fog, the lethargy. It is insane how much worse that stuff is for you than actual real tobacco.
Really, yeah.
I was actually sitting with a guy who's doing his master's in metaphysics.
Okay.
And he went out to so he was all theory, right? So he was like doing all his dissertation.
He's a scientist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's like, no, fuck this. Okay, I want to go experience this. So he went off to Ecuador. Now, so he did 3 months ayahuasca, a whole bunch of plant medicines, and was helping facilitate this. Incredible stories that that he came up with, but he was saying that the shamans say that smoking is prayer. So every time you are smoking, whatever you are saying is actually being rooted more deeply into kind of your manifestation, what you're creating in your life. Like while they're chanting and doing their kind of spiritual work, they're smoking tobacco and like saying the chants while the smoke's coming out. They say it is incredibly effective. And we're sitting here smoking in a social setting, and I mean, think about the stuff that gets spoken about.
Yeah. Interesting that. Fuck. Okay. I've never ever equated.
But tobacco's, it's a sacred.
Well, the tobacco they're smoking is also not the crap that we smoke in terms of chemicals.
Yeah, which they say is even more. It's like a sin, not in terms of
because you're taking this ritualistic thing and
it's like part
sinning it up.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's a sin to self.
And it's like you could equate that with any drug. Actually, when you think about it, it's like when you're a lighter and you're 23 years old, 25 years old, whatever. You go to the parties and you take MDMA, you take acid, and you like love it. It's only when you get older and you start realizing, like, bro, there's so much more to this drug. I'm actually not going to take it so flippantly. I'm not going to mistreat it.
Yeah, it's a medicine. Bro.
Yes.
It is actually
and the minute
medicine.
that you click onto that, that for me was a big one. Was the minute that when I started to go and take the drugs when I was in a bad headspace, for example, or in a good headspace, and it opened up those doors.
You see behind the veil.
Exactly.
Like
you start going, dude, you know what?
it,
I'm going to take this less often. And when I do take it, I'm going to take it for a reason. I'm going to take it with a purpose in mind, with intention. I've got to maybe write a list of things that I'm going to go finalize it all. So yes, I'm there for the jewel and whatever, and in the music because I love it and all that, and the social side. But I'm going to find an hour for myself when the time's right. I'm going to go sit on the grass. I'm going to unpack my shit, and you start to realize that actually this stuff is not intended to be taken. So like these guys are saying about that, really, but it's something so low as tobacco. It's not even a drug.
Well,
we don't think
I mean commercial tobacco, right?
Right.
Yeah, because the other stuff is proper sacred. If you
100%.
like organic, good 100%. Stuff, it's
but that's so it's interesting that they even bring it into as a
I mean hape. Have you had hape before? No. So it's like a powder, also sacred tobacco that you blow into your nose. You don't sniff it. So you've either got a V-shaped pipe, or someone does it for you. Yeah. Jeez,
and the
O's, bro.
Yeah, is it hectic?
Yeah.
But it's also interesting because I think, speaking of this, by the way, I never thought that we'd actually get talking about this so flippantly. It's a conversation that I've been wanting to have. Not very many people are interested in having this conversation because people have jobs and they have responsibilities.
Right, yeah, no, I'm my boss and I have been for the past 20 years.
But so it's interesting to talk about this, but what we're starting to see, like when I was growing up, in the party scene, you always heard about the ayahuascas and the mescalines and all the sacred old school plant-based medicines, and DMT was a biggie. Like I was like, DMT is like being born or dying and all that.
But you're joining with it.
Are you joking, bro?
No, really?
I was just standing on the dance floor. This is why you have to be careful these days.
No.
With vape pens, DMT vape pens.
I've heard about this, yes. Okay, I was like...
It's mental.
Bro, that stuff is really sacred.
I've
done that a few times. Yes,
yeah, I've never done it. But I've never done it.
You go places.
Yeah. I've never done it purely because I've never been presented with the correct environment, opportunity, and all that. It's on my list. I'd love to do it at some stage, but I've never done it. As I say, because when the time's right, I'm at the right party, and they go, so there's a sweat lodge, or this is an O's doing journeys. Like, I'll do it, no problem. Yeah. But O's are doing that on the middle of a drum and bass dance floor, on the middle of a techno dance floor, pulling on a pen.
Do you know what you open yourself up to doing that?
But that's what I think.
It's not a joke.
Yeah. That's what I think that's what I think the scene has become, not necessarily just the dance scene or the party scene, but I think our attitude towards these drugs has become quite laissez-faire.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, bro, it's just
loose.
Bro, treat like something like DMT, and I'm not even talking from a respect from a ritualistic perspective, because I don't know what the background of DMT is, ayahuasca.
But I think it's a respect for yourself as well.
Well, there you go, bro. Yeah. For your brain, because we know all humans. Doesn't matter if your ancestry comes. Did DMT and it's in your blood and you should do it, or you're just a Vito from the northern suburbs of Joburg and you should do it. The reality is we're all human. It's going to do the same thing to all of us, more or less. Have that respect for yourself and understand what these guys are telling you. Hey bro, this is what it's going to do to you. It's going to open your mind. It's going to make you think in a different way. So have the respect for it that you should.
I mean, like I do a meditation before. I mean, I have set my intentions. I mean, those are like, I don't know how, I mean, like, I can't even conceptualize how you would stand and do that. Like, I must lie down or be seated with my chest, with my back leaning against something. I mean, that's where I think, that's where I think the good work that is done by the guides. I don't know, everybody calls themselves something different. And you and I both know who I'm talking about. There's 20 of them that we all know about. There are still guys who take it very seriously and they go on those journeys and they make those journeys available. They purchase those journeys, for lack of a better word, and they go. And I think that those who are taking it quite loosely and flippantly are young. And I think maybe they just haven't gotten to that stage in their life. Yeah, listen, no judgments. There's no points in judging.
Well,
because the only reason why they would do it is because they don't know better.
Well, this is it. And I think that they haven't got to that stage of their life where they... I mean, think about yourself at 20 years old doing DMT. You'd be like, yo, Joel, and university.
I mean, like, that's when I did mushrooms for the first time when I was 18, and I completely fucked out. Took too much, didn't know what was. I had no idea what it was. I had no idea. Like now, I mean, 2023, I did 8.8 grams. Did the same thing. I was nuts, bro. Lay in bed eye mask on, headphones in,
Yeah.
and I left, bro.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
went,
different
like,
plane.
there were
Yeah.
these beings that took me around and all the rest of it, and it was the most beautiful experience. But then I got myself into a little paranoid spout, and I got a massive lesson on truth.
Yeah.
Just basically, like, this being was saying, have you been honest in your life?
Yeah.
Have you been
Wow.
operating from
Yeah.
integrity? You've been
Yeah.
lying to yourself. You've been lying to the people
Yeah.
around you. And she explained to me that, like, where you are and where you're meant to end up is connected 100% through truth.
Yeah.
So truth being, one, the present moment, because that is the only truth, what is. And the other is a frequency of the choices that you make.
Yeah.
Understanding how this feels to you and knowing what the right answer is to get, not to try and make things a little bit easier. And every time you tell a little white lie, you actually start to divert, and you make your journey to your kind of purpose, to your authentic self, that much longer.
Yeah.
And then at the end, it kind of spoke to me and said, you understand the responsibility of this plant,
Yeah.
of this medicine.
Yeah.
It is your responsibility to let people know that this
Right.
is not for fun.
So this is awesome, actually, that we're having this conversation, because I think we both feel the same way. Like, what you didn't even know that DMT vape pens were like out there on the dance floor.
Yeah, no,
And
I
they
had
are.
no idea. Yeah.
It's a great opportunity, I think, as kind of, I know you don't feel like it, but as elders in the community, because we are,
No, I hear you.
to say, and like, I've had very personal experiences with this, where I've been at parties and had lattes, bro, 21-year-olds coming up to me, and obviously because of my age, because I look older than they do, and also like my attitude at the jaws, like, bro, I talk to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But and I'm always asking, how's your night, like, what's going on? And it's a good opportunity, I think. Like, what happened in this particular case was, I made a latte. It was at twilight, and young, 21, whatever, and his girl was in the bathroom, and she had just gone to the bathroom, but he had said to me, Bruce, like, started a little conversation with him, and then he said to me, you could see he was a bit scared or unsure to ask, but he eventually said, Bruce, like, you seem like the kind of I can ask this about. I said, what's the story? He goes, no, my girl took some mushrooms earlier, and then some people came up and they sparked her with poppers. I'm not even going to get into the poppers conversation, which annoys me, because it's the stupidest bloody thing ever. But she passed out, and he was like, no, they sparked her. And I was like, and he's like, she took the mushrooms a long time ago, and she freaked out on the mushrooms, and and like, do you think she can take something else now, and all this? And I was like, I just helped him out. I said, listen, bro, I've obviously been around for a long time and learned a lot of the lessons. How long ago did she take the mushroom? No, she should be out of her system now. She'll be fine. But I also, like, it was a good opportunity to say to him, bro, you're a young buck. You're a man. Your responsibility is your girl.
Yeah.
And her friends. So it's good you're asking this question. Like, well done. Good on you.
Yeah.
Well done for asking, because here I'm gonna teach you what you need to know. From now on, it's like, one of the other problems he had done was, he was like, yo, no, we just bought a bag of MD, and then we just all took it together. And I was like, did you get MD from the same person? No, he got from there. And I was like, Bruce, so like, I gave him a few pointers. I'm like, bro, sort your life out. Arrive at the door with your stuff, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Don't find a random on the dance floor, and like make better decisions. And I ran into him at a party afterwards. I said, bro, what's the story? How's your girl? He's like, no, we broke up. But like, I said, so how's the parties going though? He's like, oh no, bro, much better, bro. Like, now that you kind of said to me,
to get a handle on
exactly.
it.
He said, like, you put it in me that I'm a guy, and the guy kind of needs to lead the way and make the decisions, because the girls obviously didn't make good decisions. Sometimes the girl needs to make good decisions, but whatever you're doing, don't be afraid to ask.
Well, I mean, that's the it's what's the word I'm looking for? Duty of the masculine.
There you go.
And that's also what I learned through that breakup, is how much I had fallen short on my duty as a man.
Yeah.
And I went deep into it. But it's these things. It's like understanding that you are 100% responsible for the woman that you're with. It's like you have now taken responsibility, and that's why it's such a big decision for a guy to get into a relationship, is because it's like, oh, like, shit, I'm in love now. Oh, okay, this is hectic, because now there's a responsibility to it. It's not just fun and games. There's a book called Way of the Superior Man. I don't know if you've read it.
Rings a bell. No, I don't know.
Brilliant.
Is it?
Yeah, just explaining how to interact with feminine, how they
Interesting.
what to expect from them, what to expect from yourself for them, and how how your response to her kind of natural feminine will bring more of her feminine out. And like I started to implement this stuff. Jeez, dude, I mean, the girl that I'm with, and it's not derogatory, but I've got her eating out of my hand, and she knows this. But only because of the fact that I'm explaining to her what I'm doing and the whole thing, and she just absolutely loves it. She loves the way I treat her. She was a chief steward, so very much in her masculine as well, having to like look after a chief stewardess on the yachts.
Gotcha,
So having to like take that leadership role, which is generally a masculine trait. Not sexist. This has got nothing to do with that. It literally
you're
is a
so
masculine
cancelled
trait.
after, and also you're so cancelled after this.
Yeah, I know.
Nice
That's
knowing
fine.
you.
That's cool. I'll be cancelled. Get cancelled with everyone under 30.
You homophobic. I'm joking. Sorry.
Yeah. So and just to see her how she was responding to these things. I mean, just opening the car door, bro. Like making it a standard thing, not to impress her, just because it is your duty. Making sure that you are walking up the stairs last and down the stairs first. Like these things that people don't know. Walking closest to the roadside with her on the inside. Just small little protective things where you don't even tell them that you're doing that. And then like you see.
Is that what's in the book, eh?
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah, exactly. And a whole bunch. You know, like how we're the glass and they're the water. They can be tumultuous and they can be peaceful, but we have to hold our shape. We cannot be pulled into their craziness. We have to hold resolute, even if we are dying inside. You hold that, and and like by holding that and allowing them to be crazy, they just like fall more and more into their feminine and can be creative. And the more they are in their feminine, the more we go into our masculine. And the more we go into our masculine, the more we achieve.
And it's a complementary thing.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you checked. By the way, nice knowing you, bro. The stuff you've said is so controversial.
It's
over. This will be your last thing, but
so you can edit it out.
I don't know. I don't edit anything. Too lazy. I don't know if you heard that episode I did on What Is a Man. It was a dope one. Like I kind of off the back of Earth Dance last year. I just came off the back and I was like, because I was like starting to appreciate all the strong female energies that I was surrounded with at the parties. Like I find that my tribe is very female. I find my life is actually very female. And just
I found the same thing with you. Very interesting.
And it just it got me questioning, like, what is my space and like what can I bring to the table? What do I bring to the table naturally? And I started asking like this thing about what exactly is a man. And like when I put that episode out, a lot of those came to me and they were bro, you're saying stuff there that's like, I wish I could say that kind of stuff. And I was like, well, that's the dope thing about not having a girl by my side anymore. I can get away with shit like that.
But still, it's not though. The thing is like, if you stand strong in it, the right woman is going to come.
Well, this is it.
And the thing is like, you can't also be part of the problem. So you can't go fuck her and fuck her and fuck her and expect to be a man. That's not a man. That's bullshit. That is trauma. That's looking for validation. You got to keep it in your pants. You got to be okay with not getting action. You got to be like literally on your purpose, and your mission is way more important than your dick.
It's stoicism. You're saying stoicism. You're being stoic and you're saying, bro, you know what, I'd love to bang a new girl every week, but the reality is that's fuckboy behavior.
Yeah. And I've done that and it was terrible. Yeah. I look back and I'm like, why? Why?
What were you thinking?
Yeah. And I know it was validation and coming from a place of hurt and not meeting myself where I'm at.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a crazy. So I mean, that was, as I say, it's like a lot of those came to me afterwards, and they were like, and a lot has come out off the back of that. New projects that I'm kind of working on which I'll chat to you about offline, because I think it's stuff that, especially after this conversation, it's like you really are speaking the same language, but just this realization of the guys out there in the world who are hurting, man, and like lost in their purpose. And yes, they got families, and yes, they've got responsibilities, and yes, they got jobs, so they can fulfill those responsibilities, but they are living with just absolute hatred and regret. And that's why when you put out messages like what we're talking about, I promise you, Mark, I promise you, I was going to message us after this, and she
Yeah.
would love that conversation, because they're too scared to have it themselves. And it's not a criticism. It's a reality of their life.
Yeah.
They can't talk like this because they, aside from the fact that they've got their lives that they have to think about, their kids, and they can't talk publicly about this, they also can't talk like this because it allows vulnerability in.
Vulnerability is strength, though.
Well, not
If you know how
not
to,
the way
how
that
to
they
manage
see it.
it. Yeah.
Not the way that
well,
they see it.
absolutely.
The way they see it is that they become vulnerable, they break down, and then who's going to pay the bills? Who's going to show for the? And they
Yeah,
are.
so you can't be very vulnerable in front of your missus, because that's also, it's not part of that.
Well,
And that's why you need the boys.
This is it.
Yeah.
And-
But you
and
need strong boys,
exactly.
not men, like not
exactly.
boys.
And I
men.
promise you, what this story and this that you've just explained about you and your girl, about you showing up for her and being a man, and like
Yeah.
being in your masculine, and it's brought out her feminine.
Yeah.
I'm very sure that in the early days, firstly, there was a bit of a, maybe for a week or two, going, what the fuck? Okay, we figured this. And like slowly she started to realize, whoa, he's not patronizing to me.
Yeah.
He's not pushing me down as a female.
It took a while, bro.
How long did it take, out of interest?
So like we first met in June, and I was doing it, and she was loving it. But
This
you
is the
could
girl
see,
I met at
yes, at Bloom.
Bloom.
Yeah. And you could see she was taking to it, but there would be like hard stops, and her old self would come in and be like, fuck this, bro. Like there was a lot of
Did she
resistance.
address it with you flat on, or was it more like?
No, I mean, we kind
subtle?
of back and forth because she was on the boats and stuff. So I was actually like, cool, okay, no, this is probably not the right thing to do. Like I'm 40, I've got, I've had long distance relationships is not the thing for me. But she's back now full time. But the last time, I think September, around that time, she was even more responsive to it, receptive to it. And then now it's just like game, set, match, bro.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like I say, she's eating out of my hand. But just to clarify, the only reason for that is because of the amount of respect I have for her.
Yeah.
Like it's not that that's
Yeah,
my
yeah.
goal.
Well,
My goal
yeah.
is to keep her
Yeah.
safe and make her feel safe
Right.
and make her feel loved, and to
Right.
allow her the space to be that woman.
Right.
So it's certainly not derogatory.
And as I said, like it probably took a little while for her to get comfortable with that, and for you to get comfortable with it. But I think also she's the right woman. Not all women.
Yeah, to make those decisions in the moment, especially after being like a fuckboy, and to be in your feminine, and to make, like, not to realize that you are the one that's supposed to be making all the choices. Women hate to make choices.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if they'll make a choice for themselves at the end of the day and they will ask you your opinion, you still give your opinion. Even if it doesn't mean anything to you, just give your opinion. She'll
Yeah.
probably choose the other dress anyway.
Yeah.
But that's not the point. She
Yeah.
just wants to know that you're
Yeah,
gonna
that you
that you
care.
can make the
Yeah.
choice. Yeah.
And that's, I think that's what, obviously, my history in terms of relationships, and
Mm.
the last year is the first time that I've been single for a long time, and it's been an interesting journey. As I say, like she's the right woman because she responds to that. A lot of the women that I've engaged with, not necessarily in a romantic fashion, but just generally over the last year, that's where that What Is a Man?
resistant.
Yeah, that's where that What Is a Man podcast came from, and I've got a part 2 that I've been meaning to do. I just haven't put the right thought into it. But you find with those women, it does take a little while, even though, as I say, not romantic women, just general friends. It takes a little while for them to recognize, whoa, the strong masculine energy that he's got,
Yeah.
he doesn't mean any harm by it.
Yeah. They
And when
start
he's-
to see the intention,
Right,
the truth behind
exactly.
it.
And when he wants to, keeps offering to do something or to help or to, it's not because I'm
manipulation.
weak.
Mm.
It's because I am
Just
a
because you
woman.
can doesn't mean you have to.
Exactly. It's
Or
because
doesn't
I
mean
am
you
a
should.
woman,
Mm.
and it's good to have a man backing you up.
Mm.
And I think that's where, when they start going, yo, actually, thanks, bro, pull in, let's
And
do
I'm
it.
not doing it to get your attention. I'm doing it because this is my choice as a man.
Exactly.
And that's a different
And it's
thing.
all
So
I
I'm not
know.
after you.
It's all I know how to show up as.
Yeah.
I don't know how to not be supportive of you.
Or I do know, and that never works.
Yes.
Yeah. I know how that fucked things
And
up.
when that woman, in my opinion, when those women have, some of them come around, some of them don't, but when they have come around and they go, and not all of them have had to come around. A lot of them were just like ready because they've already got strong men in their life, and they were like,
Sure.
yeah, cool, let's go. That, for me, is true feminism. I feel like that's
Absolutely.
feminism.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even going to
I
get
agree.
into the modern day feminism. What's the third wave feminism right now? Because it's, as far as I'm concerned, it's about as bad as any thing that the American media puts
I mean,
out.
that's actually to completely remove the feminine. So it's like it's anti-feminine.
Well, what they're up to,
yeah.
I don't even have I literally, I won't waste the breath or the time on this podcast to talk about that.
Or in life.
You know?
Yeah.
But it's when, and that's like I feel like what you've described with what you've got with your girl in terms of you bring forward this strong male energy and you are dominating, and she goes, "Hey, I'm feminine, I'm submissive. Let me."
And then a woman that's not used to that hears the word submissive, and she's like, "Fuck."
She goes, "Come here, let me talk to you. I need to talk to you. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Just make decisions and push you around and open car doors for you.
Yeah.
What are you mad?
Yeah.
You're letting us all down." No, that for me is real feminine, and like I feel like that's where, when we get that right, and that's what I love about the festival community, in my opinion, is the women who are part of the festival community, not the ones just coming for the jewel from time to time, but those that are throwing the parties, organizing the parties, organizing the stages at the parties, organizing the bars at the parties, organizing the like they're in the community. You know who I'm talking about on your side, and your side being like the Nick Rader and the all the best, like the girls that are there and the girls we party with. We know who we're talking about. And the girls on my side, from a psytrance and a drum and bass perspective, those girls are strong in there. They are confident. They are strong. They don't have any issue with that kind of thing, which is really, that's why I'm like attracted to being around them, because I feel like they get it. It's when you feel these insecure women, they go, "Oh no, but we don't need no man." All right, cool.
But it's also because they've been around insecure men.
Yeah.
So
and it's so interesting.
But I mean, it's all levels, right? It's, like I think we all have still quite a bit to learn, and even the girls at the festivals. I think there's, we don't really know how they're going to respond in relationships with someone that's kind of found themselves in that masculine role. But I know generally women don't like to be told what to do, and
well, I think no one likes to be told what to do, but when you have someone once you've convinced someone, and it looks like you sound like a con artist, once you've convinced someone that actually
manipulation,
once you've convinced someone, like you've convinced your girl that you've got her back, so she has no problem when you come forward and say, "This is what you need to do, go do it," because she's got your back. And when she comes in and goes, "Mark, what are you doing, bro? This is what you need to do." You'll listen.
And that's so true. I mean, like I always say to women, and this is the thing that gets me in. What the words or the concept that helps them be more receptive to me. They've got a womb.
This is like pickup artist stuff.
No,
everybody listen.
Listen up, guys. but this understanding of, they've got this womb that they bring life into this world with. Where does that life come from? It's like directly linked to God, to the void, to the other dimensions. Like they are basically half in, half out. They're the masters of the ethereal plane. We're the masters of the physical. So in order for, we have to keep them safe, and in order to keep safe, we are way more aware of the physical nature of this reality than they are. And if they're in their feminine, they are way more understanding and way more connected to that, to kind of intuitive nature. But I mean, like, how incredible is that female? And that is my intention, is to keep that safe, and understand like that this is sacred. That womb that they hold is so sacred and so incredible that they are able to birth life. The only way that life enters into this world is through women. That is unbelievable, and I have the utmost respect for that, and I would want to keep that safe and keep it sacred to as much. And I mean, I did go on a bit of a rant, kind of sexually, in my kind of mid-20s, up to 30, and I realized how degrading that was for that sanctity. Now, knowing what I know, it's like I will never ever do that. I will never ever take advantage of a woman for my own sexual pleasure. It's like, for me, that is the most important thing to keep safe and sacred in this world. And so we got to
and it's interesting what you say about that, because like I appreciate what you're saying, and I agree with you, like that sanctity and that the power, the superpower that is.
big
and
time.
yet we know that around the world at least in Western culture, birth rates are dropping.
Mm.
And more women, especially since Donald Trump got elected, are choosing not to have babies and all that, like in protest with Donald Trump.
So many of my students, bro.
Is that a fact, eh?
Like the girls are just like, I don't know if I want kids, or I don't want kids.
What do they say is the reason for that?
I mean, there's various reasons. I know some, like if you got parents or childhood trauma from your parents and stuff, you don't want to put kids through that. And even actually,
one, eh?
Like when I was with my missus in the beginning, I said, like, it's a non-negotiable for me. I want kids. And she was like, I'm not sure.
This is your current missus?
Yeah. And I was like, well, then that's a deal breaker. I was like, I don't want to waste more time.
Hold on. You said you want kids?
Yeah, I definitely do.
And she said she's not sure?
She's not sure.
How old is she?
34.
So much shit after this.
I know. Sorry, love.
I love.
But with time, as soon as she saw what I'm about and like my intention and let her into her feminine, like completely open to it. So it's like as soon as I
made her feel secure,
exactly, and allowed her to feel like a woman.
And that's something that I think a lot of guys don't realize about women is it's all about security for them.
Yeah. Safety, security.
Yeah, safety, security. And like I learned this in the most stupid, cheesy way when I was watching a video about talking about women on these stupid podcasts where they go in there and they act like bloody thoughts and all that. And so one guy was explaining is like men compete for partners, and women also compete for partners, and they compete for the alpha male so that they can, deep down, whether they admit it or not, can have babies. And
yeah, exactly. That's a primary,
right? And they might say, no, I don't want no kids, but you still want the alpha male, or you want the guy who's the best looking, or the strongest, or the wealthiest,
which is all rooted in a reptilian part of your brain wanting
that you want security to have children.
It cannot be any other way. It is hardwired into you to reproduce. You cannot want it anyway. Only trauma blocks that.
But that's I guess is what you're saying is behind these girls or women around the world, and in your students and stuff like that, going, I'm not sure I want kids. Like, it's against their nature. It's against the evolutionary pull. Yet that's how messed up the world has become. That not even security, not even a woman feeling secure in her relationship, in herself, whatever, can go, I'm ready for kids. Like, a lot of women are turning away from that.
Yeah.
And it's not, at the end of the day, it's kind of the woman's decision if kids are born.
Of course.
It's not the man's decision. Because you need us, but we kind of need you more.
You make the decision to have kids. We make the decision what sex the kid is, not actually like. Yeah.
So it's interesting that these women are turning away, going.
But it's also the programming from society. There's too much population, but there's a negative population growth. It's like we're ruining the planet, but we are the planet.
Yeah.
Like these concepts that have been fed to us through. I mean, just thinking about Bill Gates and all of his cock, and I mean, it's really, I think that's mainly what it is. It's like these people think that we are ruining the planet, but it's like our thoughts are the planet. It's completely linked.
Yeah.
There was actually a study that was done how our what's it called, the Schumann resonance, which is the frequency of the earth.
Okay.
And how our emotional state is affecting the earth's frequency. So the higher we lift our frequency, the higher the frequency of the earth is. Wow. So if we're living in a space of fear and lack and scarcity, we're actually affecting the earth. It's got nothing to do with population. It's got to do with our thought processes. And everything you see around you is created through thought and emotion. Everything.
Interesting. It's kind of like a global warming for thought.
Yeah.
Like what we throw away and the what we do to impact the earth.
Well, I mean, think about what's on the news.
Yeah.
Think about the types of TV programs you watch. Think about the type of music that gets listened to. It's crazy. It's all negative, fear-based, like hardcore, sexual. Yeah. It's very, very low frequencies.
What leads, and the American media, like I say, having lived in the States, saw that, and I was like, bro, this is not a society that's healthy.
Really, yeah.
Oof, it's bad. It's bad. Like, if you drop someone on Earth and said, hey, go to America, they would think America's just the most racist place in the world.
Really?
Oh, huge. Way more racist than South Africa. At least that's what the media tells you. You walk around, there's a lot of racism, but every country's got racism.
Yeah.
But America, if you believe that media, is just the most racist place
Yo,
ever.
it's insane.
It's
the
very-
propaganda from that.
it's
I mean,
not
even during
stable.
COVID, I mean, that was worldwide though. But
Yeah.
yes, it is insane. And like there's this book called The Light Shall Set You Free. Brew. What a book.
Yeah.
It is insane. But it basically goes on to explain the universal laws. So law of mentalism, law of correspondence, law of vibration, law of cause and effect, law of rhythm, law of polarity, law of gender. And what it says is like all of those main 7 come down to one law, and that all is mind. So everything that you are creating, you create from your mind. But you have to feed it the right information too. And if you are sitting staring at a TV screen and you're allowing this information to come in, you got to protect your mind so much. If you're watching a TV program that creates such intense emotion about cancer, you are literally inviting that possibility into your mind. Hate and crime. And I mean, you see the stuff between Israel and Palestine. It's like, for me, I would never be able to choose who to, it's like they are just going against each other. If I choose one, I'm hating another. It's like I stopped supporting Liverpool. I stopped supporting Liverpool. I loved Liverpool. But since I was a kid, I got YNWA tattooed on my arm.
Oh, no ways.
Yeah, I mean, but it's my dad, my mom and dad passed away in the tsunami in
Yes,
2000,
I remember that. Jeez, that's
2005. But this was like, you'll never walk alone. So I'm always with my folks, and they're always with me. But like, I stopped supporting Liverpool because I'm over hating United supporters. Why must I hate you because of a choice that you make?
It's a super dope message, bro.
Like, I'm done, bro.
That's one of the reasons I never chose a team to support in the first place. I love sport and I play a lot of sport.
Yeah.
Don't give a shit who's playing.
Yeah. No, I don't even watch it
Because it makes us
like,
mild, bro, and it makes us upset.
Yeah.
I watch my sister.
exactly.
My sister is big into a Man U. Well, she was much more in her youth, but now she still
'cause
watches
they're
it.
losing.
That's great.
True.
I love it. But it gave me such ammo against her if they were losing.
Yeah, you could just say, just little chirps and people
And
get fucked.
And
off,
Oz would we'd play soccer and Oz would be like, get on the pitch, and Oz would throw chirps. And it was all in fun, but you could see some Oz were getting a bit miff about it. I'm like, bro, why
you
put
take it
yourself through
so
that?
seriously. And I mean, like, through school, Liverpool was cuck.
I remember
United was killing it.
Yeah,
So I used to get pumped by everyone as well.
And now Liverpool's good.
And now Liverpool's killing it, bro.
Are they
and
the
now I've
are they
chosen
the
not to
best
support
team?
them. Yeah.
Are they?
I mean, they're in the lead, I think, this season, yeah. But
yeah,
it's like, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to jump on that just because then I'm going to be like, haha, what cute, told you so. But I can see all the United supporters are lacquer quiet.
I always can't wait to WhatsApp their mates.
Yeah, and I hate it, bro. I used to get so upset with Oaks. Be like, fuck off, bro. Like, don't talk to me. Like, serious, like, depression, bro.
I know that. So that
like,
was
so much hate for Jose Mourinho. And
I would walk around and their day would be ruined.
Yeah, Sergio Ramos, bro. I wanted to punch that Oak in the face because he did something to Mohamed Salah in the finals and made us lose. And yes, I was livid, my bro. Like I was like, I want to fly to Spain and I want to move this Oak. Like meia-lua com passo to the face, bro. That's the type of kick, just a very, very powerful kick. The reason why my nose is askew.
It's the kick from Capoeira that you know.
Yeah.
If anybody sees it, they go, oh, that's Capoeira.
Yeah, exactly.
That's our trademark.
100%.
It's the Coca-Cola kick.
Yeah, I got upset with that. But it's
so
like, I'm
funny.
done with that, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to love people unconditionally. And that's also what I felt through that whole process with my ex, is like, the more I started to face the man I was, or the boy I was, because I was stuck as a boy, bro.
Yeah.
I realized I was a little boy for so long, even through my 20s and some of my 30s, I was still a little boy. And when I started to face the parts of me that I didn't trust, that weren't trustworthy, the parts of me that made mistakes, all those things, and I started to forgive myself and love myself anyway, because what else are you going to fucking do?
Bro,
You got to sit with that.
Yeah, it's in the
You got to
past.
sit. It's you. It's
Make sure
fine.
you don't do it again.
Make space. It's like your child, bro. If they fuck up, you're still going to love them, bro. So it's like, the more I did that and accept myself for who I am and who I've been, and choose who I am, the more I accepted other people and their choices and everything. And now it's like this, getting to this point of non-judgment where, like, you could literally, like, come punch me in the face and I'll just be like, oh, I love you, bro. That's like, no problem, dude. Like, you must be going through something to actually need to do that to someone. I don't know what your story is, but I know that it's something, because that is not the true nature of a human that is that hasn't gone through shit. So it's like finding that, and the more I allow people to be who they are, it gives me more confidence to allow myself to be as authentic as I can possibly be.
Yeah, it's a good message, bro. Bro, I actually had different plans for this podcast, but thanks for the relationship counseling session. No, I'm serious. I really did but that's what I'm loving about these conversations, because I could not have scripted this conversation. And you really, thank you for being so vulnerable about it, relationship stuff.
absolutely, bro.
I mean, you are in shit when you get home. Your chick's gonna break up with you.
That's fine, bro. But I'm okay on my own.
Yeah,
you know. It's like I love myself so much that
Through the balls on this.
the choice is absolutely, bro. Like she came to me the other day. She's like, "Did you miss me?" And I was like, "No." I didn't miss you. Like I love my own company so much. Like if I missed you, it means that I'm not okay with the present moment. It means that I'm reaching somewhere else, and I love where I am. And when you're here, I love it too.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not that
But we need to be comfortable on our own. And we need to be comfortable away from each other.
Yeah, so comfortable on your own, so like that you can sit with yourself and have the best
And in a
time.
way, you saying, no, I didn't really miss you because I'm happy on my own. She walked out of that, went, wow. But maybe I should also think, I'm also all right on my own. Like, he's teaching me that it's okay to be alone, that he still loves me.
But I guarantee you, if I give her a compliment, she's going to take the compliment because she knows that I'm not lying.
Yeah.
Like, she knows that everything I'm going to say is
Well, that's what it's
honest.
about, balance. It's like anything in life. You can't, and that's what simping is, as far as I'm concerned. But simping is never going to work because you're just
avoiding the truth.
Yeah, and all you're doing is, it's all positive. Bro, she's a human. She makes mistakes. Tuna when she makes a mistake. Like, you're not negging her.
No,
you're just being honest.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that's also, it's just like having gone through that process, and it was brutal, bro. Those 3 years where I wanted to kill myself 3 different times. Wow. Like where I took a knife to my throat. It was horrific. Yeah. But realizing that it was the ego that was dying, it wasn't actually me that wanted to leave. And I just want to help other people, men and women, just help them understand that the darkness that they're going through is allowing the light to shine. It's like, how are you supposed to understand what light is if you don't have dark as the reference? So it's like to embrace that darkness and allow it to teach you, because it is our greatest teacher. But it's not an easy way to navigate it. And like I'm definitely a lone ranger when it comes to that. Like I said, I did all my journeys on my own, my psilocybin and DMT journeys on my own. And that's just, I think people really need a little bit of guidance and help, and just understanding what is actually going on, because otherwise they get lost in it and they think that actually the way out is death, bro. And it's not. It's just through the darkness, and being able to hold that emotion and learning not to listen to the thoughts, just watch them.
Fuck, bro. Dude, we got to do this again and talk about breath work, because that was the goal for the thing. Because we're an hour in, and like, interestingly, when I started the podcast, I was like, bro, I want to keep it as short as possible, and 15-minute sessions, so that others can just like bite size it. And I think it was a great strategy, because guys, it helped them tune in and go, okay, cool, we see what he's trying to accomplish here. Now I don't give a shit about how long they go, because I feel like those who want to check it out will check it out. But I mean, we must do another one and talk about breathwork, because I think that there's a lot of, I like to be practical as well. I like to be like, all right, bro, give O's the 3 steps to get started, or give them the exercise. Like the Wim Hof on Stephen Bartlett's thing, he was like, they actually did it on they did a few rounds on the thing. But June, anybody's listening, some homework that they can take away based on what we've spoken about. Aside from go build a fireplace in your house.
Yeah. And if you do build a fireplace,
have a fire
take it easy.
Have a fire extinguisher as well.
Yeah. And make sure the chimney goes outside. I think the homework is to realize that I need to try and make this as easy as possible, because
simple is better.
Hold your emotions. They're not dangerous. We feel like our emotions are out to get us, but they're not. They're not happening to us. It's suppressed emotions. So the more you can be inquisitive about the emotion that you're experiencing, and don't let the thought attach to it, because the thought's going to give you a million different things based in the future or the past, depending on shame or guilt, shame or fear, guilt or fear, anxiety. So anxiety is future, fear is future, shame and guilt is past. So you can understand those two, but just feel them. Just sit and just be inquisitive. How does it feel in the body? The more you do this, the more you start to process the emotions. That you don't need to know where it comes from. You don't need to know why you're angry. You don't need to know why you feel guilt or shame. It could be a million different reasons through your life. It's about just allowing the feeling to be there, making space for it, feeling, and it will dissipate. And once it's dissipated, you can continue. If you do this enough, you're going to get to a point where you don't react to your emotions. You just experience them. Because a lot of our decisions and our actions are based on the emotion we're currently feeling, because we're like afraid of the emotion.
Yeah.
So we express the emotion. So I would say just feel emotions. I feel like this is the main thing that we all need to get into right now, is just to stop listening to the voice in your head and feel the emotions in the moment.
I like it. Amazing, bro. Thank you, my dude.
Thank you, bro. That was awesome.
Goodbye.
Yeah. See ya.
There's your homework. Cheers, guys.